After months of work, my car is almost done, right? Well, that's what I thought until I discovered this rattle.
What is that?
I can open up, it's like the world's dancing all night long. I can't even see, I'm so lost in anxiety.
So I got some door bushings from Flying Miata. I really am pretty skeptical that these are going to make any difference, especially in chassis stiffness. But after I fixed a bunch of sounds in the car, I realized that even if it can just fix some squeaks that I hear when I drive around on bumps, that would make a big difference in the driving experience. So I'm going to give these a shot. And so I got started. But it was this install that I set my new record for how fast something went wrong. Oh no, I already stripped the screw. No. Oh. Okay, so these screws are stripping, but I just realized they are also a hex bolt. Probably should have just started off with that. So what I'm doing here is installing these bigger and stiffer door bushings. Apparently this is supposed to make a slight difference in chassis stiffness because this is the connection point between the door and the rest of the car, and there's no roof to provide a lot of stiffness, so the doors end up taking a lot of that responsibility. I am honestly quite skeptical that these will really make a difference, and I honestly wasn't seeking any difference in chassis stiffness, but instead I was kind of hoping that this would eliminate a few rattles and squeaks that the door sometimes makes. And the procedure apparently with these is you first loosen it a little, and then you slam the door a bit so that it actually aligns it properly, and then you officially tighten it. So this is moving a bit on its own. Oh! That felt good. After slamming the door enough, the bushing was now properly aligned and ready to be tightened down, but I accidentally moved it a bit, so I had to redo that whole operation and make sure that it was in the correct spot before I fully tightened it down. It definitely is a bit more of a thump instead of a kablam. Here's a before and after recording of the bushing. I remember feeling like there was a noticeable difference, but looking back at the recording, I really can't tell much difference at all. But there is a noticeable difference between the old bushing and the new bushing. But the weird thing is there's actually a noticeable difference between both my doors, even though both have the new bushing. Take a listen. Here's the driver's side, the passenger side. This one was actually dramatically improved. You hear it's like a stronger thud with less of a rattle. Back to driver's side. So I don't know what that's about. There might be something loose in the driver's side door itself, unrelated to the bushing. If anyone has any ideas of what that might be, please let me know, because this is the door I use the most, and it would be cool if it sounded like the thud of the other one. I'll take a drive later and see if it actually makes any difference. And with the door bushing done, I moved on to the next item on my to-do list. So when I changed my spark plugs and wires, I showed a clip of me revving the engine, and someone in the comment mentioned that my throttle pedal cable is loose, which I didn't even really know is a thing. But I think they're right, because whenever it pulls, there's a little bit of a slack that it has to, you can see this pretty massive slack here, that it pulls on before it actually pulls on the engine throttle. So apparently these screws can adjust that, so I'm going to try and give that a shot right now. I've never messed with this part of the car, but it seemed pretty self-explanatory, so I started giving it a shot. Is this whole thing supposed to rotate? Probably not. Aha! There. So with that nut loosened, I was able to adjust it to get rid of some of that slack, but I was also being careful not to tighten it too much to the point where it would actually idle too high, because it's always slightly open. Look around there. Oh yeah, but don't tighten it too much, because then your throttle will be open. That looks good. Yeah. So much better. Get that tight. Definitely much better. And it seemed good, so I gave it a test. And yeah, it was definitely more responsive. Okay, now that definitely made a difference. Wow. I might even have trouble driving the car for a few minutes because I got so used to that loose throttle pedal. It felt like a different car to press the pedal like that. Cool! I'm a big fan of any fixes that are free. And with those 2 fixes done, I moved on to one of the parts that I missed from my car detailing video. I was never really able to properly clean this nasty center console, and I kind of forgot to get back to it. And every time I use the car, even though it's been so well detailed, this was nasty. So I pulled the whole thing out, used my detailing spray, a microfiber cloth, and a Q-tip to get into the corners to finally clean it up, and it made a pretty dramatic difference to just the general feel whenever I drive this car. So there's a lot of preventative maintenance that I've been doing on this car, and one preventative thing that's not actually even maintenance at all is stick an AirTag in it so that I can track it down if it gets stolen. I have to leave the door. I leave the doors unlocked because if someone really wants to break in and steal something, they can just cut open the soft top, and the soft top cost me $1,600 to buy and install. So I'd rather people just open the door and find that I don't leave anything in it because I know I'm leaving the doors unlocked. And I'm not too worried about people stealing it because it's a stick shift car. But at the same time, it is 22 years old, and I'm sure the tech in it is pretty outdated, and that it wouldn't be too hard to steal. So in the case that someone steals it, I want to be able to track it down, or just at least have the peace of mind that I know where it's at. So I'm gonna go ahead and hide this AirTag in it. All right, I'm about to install my most important modification yet on this car, and that is a dash cam. I refuse to drive a car without a dash cam, and yet I've been driving this for about 1,000 miles without a dash cam. All my previous cars have had one, and I've made sure my girlfriend and my parents' cars have all had one. And it's always a nice piece of insurance to have that hopefully never pays off. So I'm gonna put this in now. I'm kind of gonna use this moment as a PSA to make sure that you have a dash cam. Even a $20 one off of Amazon can make a big difference and help protect you if you get into an accident or especially hit and run and need to find whoever hit you. It's kind of like an investment that you hope never pays off, but it's been really useful for me when I got video of my own accident, and for those around me when I actually got video of another accident and was able to give the footage to help them out. So it's a bit overdue, but now my Miata finally has one. I feel a bit more protected when driving it. So it's been raining for a week straight, and it turns out I need new wipers. So I got wipers. I agree. And for my final improvement in this video, I wanted to change out the wipers because other ones were not working well anymore. And I originally wasn't going to use this footage, but since y'all love watching me struggle so much, I'm putting this in because I got stuck installing a wiper blade on my car. It turns out there's 2 different kinds of connectors and I had the wrong one. But that's another little silly hiccup I also had to go through. And so finally I gave my car a nice little wash after all of that work. And last but not least, I finally got an alignment on this car. And that made such a huge difference. Even before I messed up the alignment by taking apart the entire suspension, the steering was extremely wobbly on center, especially while going at high speeds, and also wouldn't recenter nicely after I took a turn. I was genuinely quite shocked how much of a difference that made to the enjoyment of this car. I thought it'd be like a small modification. It literally was the most impactful modification. And after that wash, it was really nice to admire my car. I mean, I've put so much time and work into this car, changing so much of the suspension, learning how to work on it, upgrading the wheels, the coilovers, getting the new soft top, going through the troubles of trying to fix the old soft top that ended up just shredding anyway. So it's kind of nice to have a moment where I could just really admire my car for what I've turned it into. I mean, I'm not fully done with the car. There are still lots of small things I've been wanting to fix, like my CD player makes this awful rattle when I put CDs in it, and sometimes it ejects the disc randomly. My AC lights don't work, my dash still has that hot yellow spot, one of my trunk lights doesn't work, small stuff like that. Oh, my fog lights don't work. But there's nothing major left, and I've kind of been thinking about what comes next. Wait, did my engine just rattle? Well, I guess that's what I'll be fixing next episode. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for that.